Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Activities for People Living with Dementia. We are, yes, we are coming to you live on Zoom, and this program is being recorded for future use on our YouTube channel. And if you want to, you can go to that channel and you can hit like and subscribe, and you can watch this video and any of our videos anytime. We would really appreciate that. So yes, you're being recorded, video and sound. And this program is being brought to you by United Way of Tarrant County and the Area Agency on Aging. What am I missing? And today I'm presenting me, Fit Wits, with Emily Corbin. That's me. And Martha is here, and she is cheering us on silently to save her voice. And yeah, so Fit Wits today, let me share my screen. I haven't done Fit Wits with all of you in so long, and I've really missed it. My pleasure. I've really missed this kind of interaction with all of you. It's really super fun. So I'm going to share my screen if I can remember how to do it. Okay, do you guys see this mess of things that I'm looking at?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I wasn't ready because I thought I was going to have the intro to scroll through. But that's okay. We can wing it. We can be flexible with our minds.
Sure.
Okay, let me get there. There it is. Here it is. I'm going to just make it a little bit bigger. You guys tell me if you have any problems being able to see.
Could you make it a little bit smaller, please? I can't see the screen. The bottom of the screen is not showing.
Yeah, so I am going to fix that a little bit here.
There you go. Thank you.
Yes. And I am working on a new computer situation, so I really hope I can solve that challenge here pretty soon, Don. Every time you say,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah, it just inspires me it motivates me to go ahead and do that and take care of that task every time I hear someone say, well, I can't really see that part of the screen, because neither can I. And if it affects you, I'm more likely to really do something about it quicker. So thank you for telling me. I appreciate it. Let's be Fit Wits. So yeah, I thought we were going to have a gorgeous spring day today, but we shall see. But in any case, we do have a flower theme here for our front page. So remember, with Fit Wits, we are always going to start off with We're always going to start off with today's date. So you guys look at this date and make sure it's correct. Today is Thursday, April 6th, 2023. Can that be right?
Yes.
Good.
Yes, that's right.
Is that right? Okay, good.
I cannot believe there's only 269 days left in the year. Where's it
I know. It's interesting to see the math in these terms, right? I don't normally include this, but to think of it in this way, it's been 96 days already this year. In some ways, this year feels like it's been more than 96 days.
Yes.
And then in other ways, I can't believe it. Yeah. Does anyone else have that experience or a different experience?
Yeah. It goes too fast.
It does go too fast. And if you're having fun, it seems to go really fast. And I've been having some fun lately, so I feel pretty grateful about that. So let's exercise our brains to make the most out of every day. So this might sound silly, but I'm having one of those mornings where I'm getting a sluggish start. And I'm aware that when that happens, I sometimes need to just stand up and move my body and make some kind of weird noises with my mouth. So I'm wondering, I started thinking, these are all practices that young children actually intuitively do when they have an intuitive feeling they need to change their energy in some way or another. They either need more of it or they need to blow off some steam and settle themselves down. And I mean, there's so much research now that tells us that we can stand up, we can move our bodies intentionally for just a moment, and that's actually going to help us tune in our brains for the next few minutes. So let's be silly for just a moment, if you don't mind. If you're able to get up out of your chair, let's do it. Oh yeah, you guys are on board with the silliness. Okay, so I'm gonna stand up. Yeah, I'm gonna stand up and I'm just gonna move for a second, and it's gonna be like a 30-minute dance break, and I might be out of breath afterwards. And I'm also gonna make some kind of vibrating noises, and I know it feels really goofy. Right, and this is going to be online, me doing this, right, as the main person on your screen, which is hilarious. And also, right, I know that I don't have to feel any shame about this. This works for me, right? So already kind of blowing off a little steam and focusing our attention now. Does anybody feel like a buzz in their bodies from just moving that few seconds? Anybody?
I feel better.
Better? I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take that. So we're starting off with checking the weather today. That's just a rough list of what we do. We usually start with checking the weather. And, when I checked the weather this morning, it said sunny. Like, is it sunny at any of your homes right now?
No.
Just out of curiosity. Okay, let's just switch over to the Weather Channel and see if they're still going with that. I'm really curious to find out if they're saying. Oh, did Penny join us?
You did.
I hadn't seen her up to now. Penny, I just heard you chime in. So yeah, it says you guys are seeing this, right? So I'm not crazy, at least not because of this. Okay, so right here it does say sunny, and there's a picture of a sun, right?
Well, it's partly sunny.
Is it partly sunny at your house?
Yeah.
If it's full
partly sunny at mine.
Okay, all right. So interesting. We're all spread out here all over the Metroplex, and some of us have got pretty cloudy weather, and some of us have got a little sun. And it's important for us to remember that we get to go outside and trust our own feelings and perceptions and beliefs about what's happening around us, right? So if it's sunny at your place, then it's sunny. Let's check out this day in history. So what's today's date again?
The 6th of April.
Yes. And what year in the future are we now?
2023.
Yeah. Okay. So does anyone know of any of the things that happened this day in history? I know some of you get the emails. I'll move us to the first one.
Oh.
And I only have 3 of this particular type of thing for us today, because we usually have so much dialogue around all of them. And that's really important. We're supposed to dialogue. We're supposed to talk. That's exercising our brains too. So I just want to remind you, you don't have to raise your hand or ask. You don't need permission to speak. So April 6, 1896, first modern Olympic Games opened, which, part of me was surprised to find a photograph actually. But I guess it wasn't that long ago, right? They did have photographs.
Modern Olympics.
And I did actually pull up the page for the Olympics so that we can just get curious about some of the Anybody want to guess how many countries were involved in that modern Olympics?
12?
That's a pretty good guess. That's pretty close.
That's because I just read it. I'm sorry. I just read it.
Oh. Oh, John, that's funny because I read 14 and maybe your
Really?
source is better than my source. It's possible, right? Again, you can't trust.
Encyclopedia Britannica. So
That
I
feels
don't
like
know
a
if Wikipedia
good
is better
source.
or not.
Well, I was on the Olympics page.
Yeah.
Oh, where'd it go? Help. And so this is the official Olympics.com page. And they said there are 14 teams.
Okay.
And so maybe we're both right. Maybe it was 14 teams from 12 countries.
Could be. Yeah.
Yeah. And so if you were curious about that first Olympics and you wanted to find any information about it, you could go to this page and you could find the results. You could find out all kinds of different stories about those games. And you could even look at the design of the first medal, which is kind of a cool thing, right? So first Olympics of the modern era doesn't feel terribly modern. Let's look at the medal design. Ooh, all those Greek letters. Here it is.
Wow.
It's
They're
very
nice.
Greek mythology looking. It's beautiful, isn't it?
It is.
You like it, Martha? Martha's coughing in approval.
Does it say what they're made out of?
That's a good question. So silver, bronze, and I guess. Oh, okay. So first place is silver, second place is bronze.
Oh, so they only have
and
two. Wow.
copper. So I guess they didn't do a third place. So I guess we all just learned something. And Dawn, when you looked up those medals, or sorry, the countries, what countries did you see who participated?
Well, that's what I'm just looking at here. The
Okay.
Encyclopedia Britannica does not. Let's see.
Let's see if it tells us. So there were 241 athletes. If we look right here at this chart, Athens 1896.
Yep.
And it's not letting me click on teams, but I wonder if I go to results.
Hello. You might throw out a trivia contest on who is going to host this year's or next year's Olympic, and don't shout it out because the other people want to learn it. Don't shout it out. And so what else is tied into it? What else is tied into it?
I don't know any of those things.
Well, don't shout it out then.
That's reasonable. So who's going to host it? It's finalized, right?
Yeah.
It is.
Okay.
It is finalized.
Yeah, they have to be building stuff to get it ready.
That's right, Nancy. That is absolutely right.
And isn't it more than one country?
What country and what else is tied into it?
I thought it was two countries or so this time.
No.
It's one country every 2 years.
Yeah, but sometimes it's so expensive that they are going to.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Countries.
So I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know the answer.
So for 2024,
the
Olympics are in Paris, France, and those are the summer. I guess those are the Summer Olympics. I'm not sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
I bet
but what else is tied into it? What else is tied into the celebration?
The Tour de France?
The Tour de France?
No.
Is it a Bastille Day celebration?
No.
Well, okay.
Patrick,
What?
come on, tell us.
No, let somebody find out. Then you're gonna say, oh, I should have known that.
Okay, well, I can't wait to find out. um,
If I got to go, it'd be a vacation.
well, that
You're
would be
halfway
lovely.
there. You're halfway there.
So it's something to do with a vacation, Patrick?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
They're going to Disney World in Paris.
No.
Your response is funny. You would make a really funny game show host, Patrick.
Yeah.
Behind door number 1.
No.
You guys are
So-
gonna beat your head up against the wall when you hear this.
Is it
Okay,
like
well,
a
tell me.
fair or something that's going on that way?
The World's
I
Fair?
wouldn't call it that. No.
No.
Something worldwide is happening in Paris, France. And everybody knows about it.
Apparently not everybody.
There's a couple of us that haven't heard about it.
You know about it, but you don't realize it. It's tied up into the Olympics.
Well,
I
this
feel-
is
I'm
how
not
we
seeing-
learn
It's
things
lucky
these
that I don't
days.
know this.
I'm not seeing anything that tells me what that is. So I don't know.
Well, I don't know, but we have to move on
Is
to
it
our next
Paralympic Games?
slide.
Should I
Yeah.
tell you?
Yes.
Tell us,
Yeah.
Patrick.
They're going to reopen Notre Dame.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I don't know. I don't feel bad that I didn't know that.
No, I don't either.
I didn't know Notre Dame was closed.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
it burned down a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I missed that.
It
No,
did.
you
It
probably
did
know
burn
it
down.
burned. It burned.
Yeah, it didn't burn clear down.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. I just love
Okay.
the movie.
What movie?
The movie where the oh, I forgot his name, but he was too short to play, and he
Oh, Rudy?
yes,
Rudy. Yeah, that's Notre
I
Dame.
love Rudy.
Yeah, that's at Notre Dame University.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Notre Dame Cathedral in
Oh, see?
Paris.
See, I told you I didn't know.
And that is a-okay. Hey, we're here so you can flex your mind muscles. So I think you just did. And there's a Notre Dame replica in Canada as well. There are probably more replicas than that. That's the closest I've gotten to Notre Dame. So another thing that happened on this day, which I thought this was really cool. It's been what, 114 years
Yep.
since we actually started to explore the North Pole. It hasn't taken us, boy, we got there and then we started melting those suckers right away.
That's right.
Crazy. So if I want to play a little imagination game here, and it's a little bit like, so if something that you do at the North Pole was an Olympic sport, what would it be?
Fight
Or
well.
what Olympic
yeah,
sport
dog
might
sleds.
be useful at the North Pole?
Dog
Skiing.
sled.
Ice skating.
Okay,
Skiing.
yeah, for sure. Definitely that cross-country skiing, right?
Find out where south is.
Sleigh riding,
What was that, Penny?
sleigh riding,
Riding,
you know,
Yeah.
they do this.
Or dog
Like
sledding.
that.
dog sledding.
With the dogs? Yep.
Find Santa Claus.
Finding Santa Claus. right, tracking Santa Claus. You know, the news people make it sound like it's an Olympic sport every year, don't they?
Martha said luge.
Luge.
That's right.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Bobsled.
Hockey.
Yeah.
Outdoor hockey.
Yeah, it looks like they
Yep.
put some pretty flat ice out there, so maybe.
Now, what if we made an Olympic sport? You know how over the years, you know, the number of sports has just expanded and expanded. What if we made up an Olympic sport, like Olympic ice fishing? What do you think?
How about Olympic iceberg jumping?
Oh, yeah. All right.
How about a sport of building an igloo?
Oh, I like that.
That, you know, that could really come in handy.
Ice carving.
Ice carving, there you go.
Ice sculpture. Yeah, I love that. That's really
Or getting
cool.
close to the one you love for warmth.
Aw, that's a sweet one. That I feel like that's a greeting card.
Martha has a question.
How to keep warm at the North Pole. Yes, Martha, was that a question or was that a thumbs up?
She has a, do they have ice skating at the Olympics?
They do.
They do.
Yes.
At the Winter
They do.
Olympics.
Yep. The Winter Olympics, they have ice skating and ice dancing.
And
And yeah,
Organized.
that's got to be my favorite thing to
Oh,
watch.
and they have both couples and individuals.
What's
In
the
team.
curling? Is curling the one where
yeah.
they it's like
Oh.
shuffleboard but life size, kind of
Right.
like that?
It's like yeah,
Swiffering your house.
sweeping. It's like sweeping your house.
I know, right?
I would
I
love
mean,
to see that.
does anyone understand or know like what? Because I think all of these sports, when they originally, you know, did the Olympics, you were proving your worth as a warrior, right?
That's right.
You were kind of you were performing some kind of skill that was essential at the time, or I know a lot of it was, you know, for show. It was very showy and barbaric in many ways, but I'm wondering, like, at what point we decided, like, what skill does curling provide? What life skill, you
Well-
know? And no offense to curlers, I'm really curious.
Sure. So
Anybody?
curling is about throwing your with the stone. I don't know,
Disc.
the stone, whatever the stone
Stone,
is,
stone, I
and
think.
down there and see how close to the target you can get, and then everybody else trying to knock your stone away and get closer to the target. So that's like what's it, like bocce ball also? Bocce ball
Yeah,
does
yeah.
that. Horseshoes does that to you try to kind of knock the other person's horseshoe away from the stake.
So what life skill, Don, do you sort of see as parallel to that?
I think hunting. I think throwing a rock at something and and killing it, you know.
Okay. I was thinking, yeah,
It's very
okay.
strategic, I think,
Yeah, it
Accuracy.
is very
strategic.
strategic.
because you have to
Working on
sweep.
accuracy.
You have to sweep in front of it and make the ice hot so that it goes farther or slower and so on. I think there's a lot of strategic thinking going on in there.
Yeah.
Don't let me get into the mathematics of how
Yes.
how things work. So
Mhm.
Yes, exactly. So there's a lot of sort of instantaneous calculation that's happening in the athlete's brain, right? Where they're considering how the ice and they know a lot about the science of ice and the molecules and how they're going to respond to different pressures and forces, right?
yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
It's like
cool.
baseball
I
pitching.
love
It's like
this.
pitching, having curveballs. You know,
Mhm.
they sweep a pass so that it goes in a specific direction, even if it doesn't start out in that direction. They try to make it curve one way or
Yep.
another to get to where it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
As long as we are using our imagination, let's come up with some new Winter Olympic sports.
Well, we just did
My
that,
Oh,
Patrick.
I thought
My
that's what we
idea-
were doing.
We just did that, Patrick. Yeah.
We
Yeah,
we
my
came up with
idea would, when we go outside, would be kissing for an Olympic sport.
My idea would be to stick your tongue on a metal post.
Yeah.
Go ahead, I won't.
Okay, well, I guess that would be the stupid human tricks Olympics
right.
if we did the tongue on the.
Oh,
You
yeah.
guys have seen those human tricks, right? I think David Letterman was the one who used to do those.
The tongue on the ice post is a famous movie.
Well, yes, that's from. Is it A Christmas Story?
It's
Yes.
It's was it? It's a
Yes.
you shoot your eye out, whatever that is. Christmas
Yes.
Story. Yeah.
Oh,
Christmas Story.
such a classic. Such a classic. And has anyone ever done that? Because
Not on purpose,
it's-
but I won't say that it was happened by accident.
well, I've
That pole
definitely
just stuck itself to your
That's right. That
face.
pole jumped right up in my face.
I definitely probably did that like with a popsicle or something when I was a
Yeah.
little kid.
Yeah.
And you didn't have to tell me twice on that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so our next slide. This is my favorite thing that happened on this day is that this was published in the U.S. In English for the first time, and so this is considered a children's book, but it has a lot of adult kind of themes. And it's very existential. Some consider it to be a very serious philosophy book.
Wow.
How about a
Does
snake
anyone
that
know
swallowed
this
an elephant?
story?
No, I don't, but I'm gonna have to find out now.
I don't
That's a
remember
key
it, but I
prompt.
read it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there was a snake that swallowed an elephant.
Yes, a boa constrictor.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Wow.
So it's very whimsical and kind of magical, and the story is it's a really interesting story about how adults see the world and how different that is from how children see the world, and it just really makes a lot of interesting points about our perspective, and it's just a wonderful childhood memory book for me. Although the very first play that I ever saw was The Little Prince, and I was really little, like maybe
Licky branding?
maybe 4 years old, and well, I don't want to give you a spoiler about it if you're not familiar with it. I don't want to ruin the story for you, but there's something that happens in the play, in the book, that really terrified me and I thought was real and really happened in real life. And so my mother, I was just inconsolable afterwards, and my mother had to, yeah, there it is. My mother had to take me to meet the actor after the show so that I would know he was okay. And she did, and I was okay too. But so things like that will leave an impression, won't they?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm kind of surprised that I just read a little bit about it, and the fact that it's about a little prince that travels throughout the solar system, that would have really appealed to me growing up. So I'm surprised I didn't know about it.
Well, maybe because it was published in French originally. And, I think in the US it was kind of like more of a underground cult classic.
Oh, okay.
And then, it certainly takes a lot longer for something to weave itself into the culture when it wasn't originally published in English. And we also listened to it on a record player when I was young. But yeah, I mean, you would have to find a translation. and but that's easy to find, easy. It would probably be tougher to find a French version these days than a translation. So here's a little summary of the story. Young prince who visits other planets. So feelings of loneliness, friendship, love, and loss. And it seems like it's a book that can help kids and adults learn how to talk about their feelings, and learn and explore how and why we all have different feelings. And I think in our world today, where so many people have opposite feelings or don't understand each other's perspectives, it's kind of nice to explore things that remind us how we all have the same kinds of fears and vulnerabilities. These are some of my favorite quotes from the book. Does anybody want to read one out loud?
Can I read one?
Martha wants somebody to.
All right, I'm going to read the second one. People have forgotten this truth, the fox said, but you mustn't forget it. You become responsible for whatever you're tamed. You're responsible for your rose.
Yeah, that's so good. What does that mean to you, Don?
Well, it means that if you I don't want to say, let me see if I can figure out a way to say it. If you take if you become responsible for creating something, you're responsible for how it affects how it affects the world around it going forward forever.
Yeah. Wow. That's really such a powerful statement in a children's book, right?
Mm-hmm.
That we and the word tame, I think, could throw some people off, because we think of tame and we might think of a wild animal, but that's just kind of how it translates. It doesn't necessarily mean tame literally. It means when we take charge of something, just like you said, then it remains our charge. It remains our responsibility.
Well, and it gives an example of the rose, and the rose is not really tamed. It's developed over time. It's different.
Thorns. Yeah,
so I'm gonna have to take a look at this book. Oh, and hey, the other thing I just read is about, as of 2017, The Little Prince became the world's most translated non-religious book, together with the Italian novel The Adventures of Pinocchio, 300 languages.
That's right. I think over 140 million copies. Wow. World, yeah, just so pretty. It's out there. It's impacted a lot of lives, and maybe Don, a lot of stories like this one have been told. I mean, how Disney will sometimes tell a story that's really, really old, and they'll give it a new name and a new spin
and they'll change the whole story. Yeah.
Dressing. But so a lot of times I think this story and the moral of the story and the sort of inspiration of it has influenced a lot of other stories that might be more familiar to you.
Yeah. I know. I mean, that's the sad thing about Disney is they take something that was written for like you say, something that describes if you do something bad, it turns out bad for you, and they turn it into something that if you do something, anything, it'll always turn out good for you. So
You know,
Yeah.
I like this verse. The most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or touched. They are felt with the heart.
mhm.
That's
That's
beautiful.
my favorite one, Nan. That's my favorite one. Um, and I really feel that. So,
Mhm.
Nan, what are the beautiful things in the world that you are aware of
You say
that
men?
can't be seen or touched? Yeah.
Yes. Memories. You have memories of, like with my Girl Scouts, the girls growing up, becoming young ladies. You you have a feeling. The feeling is love. The feeling is you had a part in making them who they are. I had one young lady tell me that. She said, I
Yeah.
am who I am because of you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's things like that. It's love and feelings that no one else can have but you. Each person is different.
Yeah. So yeah, love is invisible, but and yet we feel it and experience it every day, hopefully. I think it's there for us to feel and experience every day, if we're looking. Um, so anybody else, what is something that you are aware of that is definitely part of your experience of the world, but that it can't be touched or seen with the eyes?
Okay, I don't understand the
A warm breeze.
Say that again, Dawn.
what does the Penny say? Maybe I'll help answer it.
And Penny, what did you say?
A warm breeze makes you feel good.
Warm breeze. There you go.
Oh, I
Okay.
love that. Yeah.
Swimming in the ocean makes you feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I think Yetta. I was going to ask Yetta, but I think she had to step away.
Yeah.
You know, Nan, it seems like you went right to the heart of it, with your comment about love, that and that our human connections are kind of what, one of the things that we can experience regularly, but you can't actually, hold a human connection in your hand, right? It's not a tangible experience. Relationships, right, are not something you can hold in your hand, but they are something that you can experience, and definitely memories. Yeah.
And basically, this that we have right now in front of us
mhm.
is
Yeah.
a wonderful feeling, a connection.
Yeah. I mean, I feel that 100%. Um, does anybody notice how the top line, and now here is my secret, a very simple secret. It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye. It's almost like the first quote and the second quote are saying the same thing in two different ways. Does anyone else notice that?
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
that applies to some things like things that inspire you, I guess.
What inspires you, Don?
Well, I think that um, I'm trying to figure out how to say it. Doing
Take your time.
something that's extraordinary, and what it takes to do that is very that you don't you see the effort that's made, but you don't see the sacrifice and the other things that go into to doing those things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doing more than what's expected.
Doing more than what's expected, yes.
So yeah, so when someone goes above and beyond and gives everything they have, you can't see all of that that's behind the scenes and under the surface, and you may only see like the final end product, and you have no idea all of the power and the passion and the energy that went behind. Right. Yeah, I totally
creating a great work of art,
yeah,
designing something that's astounding.
Yep. Right, and we can look at the thing right in front of us and say, wow, that's great, that's amazing, but do we really know like how amazing it is? Can we really yeah, that's really cool. What about the one about how we were all children at one point? I don't know. I mean, it's all grown up for one's children, but only few of them remember it.
I'm still a child.
That's what I was gonna say, Dawn. I'm still a kid.
Yeah. I have my memory. My memory is I put it down in a poem about my dad. You know, when we're little, our dad is like a John Wayne, tall, and then tough. When we become teenagers, we think we know it all. Yeah. And then when we're grown, we realize that our dad was still John Wayne, and he knew the best.
Yeah. So
that goes for our mothers too. When we're teenagers,
I'm experiencing that from the mother's perspective right now, Nan. So
yeah.
Yes, you are correct. Well, I'm really glad that I put that section at the end of our program today, because I just really loved getting to explore those topics with all of you. And yes, Dawn, I hope you will look for that book. It's a great, easy read, and it's pleasant and it's surprising in some ways, and it's powerful and moving. And yeah, I hope you love it, and I would love to hear about it. You could do the audiobook too. These days, there's 100 ways to read a book now.
100 ways to read a book, that's right.
So I hope all of you have a wonderful Easter if you celebrate Easter.
You too.
And if you don't celebrate Easter, I hope you have a wonderful spring Sunday.
Yes.
Does anyone know the origin of not the Easter story from Christianity, but the word Easter? I think we maybe touched on this like a year ago, but super briefly, and we've all slept since then.
It's a form of the word that is used for pagan celebration of spring, I think.
Yes, there was a holiday called Ostara. There was a pagan goddess called Ostara, the goddess of fertility, and yeah, pagan celebrations of springtime, celebrating planting seeds, and all of what everyone wanted to create, celebrating new life, and new creation. And that was where it originally, the name Easter was born, of the word Ostara.
That's right.
So fun trivia.
Yep.
Yes, it was.
Happy Easter, everyone.
Happy
You
Easter.
too.
Easter.
Martha, do we
Bye.
know what we're doing tomorrow?
I don't know.
It's in the
Oh,
chat.
stop sharing. I need to stop sharing. Yep. Okay.
Texas
Okay.
wins. All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you,
Adios.
everybody.
Thanks, everyone. I hope
Bye.
you have a beautiful day,
Too.
and
Bye.
I'll see you real soon.
Thank you.